Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all okay. So today's a bit of a different video. We're going to do a van video today. I need to install the diesel heater in the van because it's coming into winter and it's going to start and get a bit cold, especially after you've been out in the pouring down rain, soaking wet. You want to get in the shower, just stick the diesel heater on. When you get out of the shower, it'll be perfectly warm. I would be on the bike today because it's such a nice day, but I've sent my rear shock away for repair. First thing I need to do is take the seat out because this is a medium wheelbase crafter, and I've looked online, looked on YouTube and places, and a lot of people are putting the diesel heater underneath the passenger seat. Underneath the driver's seat. So I might do that. I know there's some wiring and there's some fuse boxes and stuff under there, but I am an auto electrician, so I should be able to sort all that out, and hopefully there's enough room underneath the driver's seat to be able to put the heater, and then the fuel tank can go behind or the other way around. So I'm just going to pull the seat out and have a quick look, and let's go from there. So this is what we're left with. So there's loads of wires and there's loads of bits of crap in there that I need to tidy up. There's a fuse box here, a few wires, don't know where any of it goes. That's not standard, that's aftermarket, that can come out. And then there's just a relay there. So I was thinking of putting the diesel heater here, but a few people have put them here. So what I'll do is I'll take this bar out, take this out, give in here a bit of a wipe and a hoover, and then I'll get the diesel heater and sort of figure out where it's going to go. So I took these bars off, given it a quick wipe, bit of a hoover, nothing amazing. We've got a relay, fuse box, a couple of bits and pieces. There was a few wires in there that looked like they were from the it's got a reverse, or it had a reversing camera on the back, so I've took those wires out because it doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to get the diesel heater, I'm going to get the fuel tank, and I'm just going to eyeball where everything's going to go. That's the next task. Right, well, good news and bad news. Good news is I've cleaned all of that out. Bad news, I don't know where people get the idea that that'll fit under there, because look, right, it'll go, I did think it would go maybe there, right? That looks legit, because then the intake there, you can put a hole here, goes through, and then you can put a vent out of there that way, or straight through out of there out into there. Perfect, right? Underneath here there's a cross member, main part of the chassis, so you can't do anything. You can't put the exhaust holes or anything under there, it doesn't work, right? So then I thought, oh, maybe it can go that way. Same situation underneath there, there's just not enough room, so it's going to go behind the driver's seat. Now, I'm glad I've cleaned all this out, but this is the plate off the bottom. The only place I can fit it, I think, is there. I think we might be all right. So I drew around the template, okay, and then stick it over there. I've drilled out that hole and I've drilled out that hole, so I'm going to lose this bit, cut it across there, cut it there, lose that bit, and then cut the floor out big enough to just a square, you know what I'm saying, a square to do that, to fit that bit in. I'm getting hungry, I might go get some food. So that's the job. I'll check in once I've taken all this out and you'll see what I'm trying to say. So basically I've been a bit of a sausage, and the hole that was from this side, so I cut this piece out, and I cut it to there, but then I realized I cocked up because I was going that way and I needed to go this way. So I made the template for this. I thought, oh yeah, it works perfect, but then when I was under the van I needed to come this way, and that way is a chassis leg. So what I'm doing is I've just moved it from there to here. So now I'm cutting out this piece, and then we'll have a nice hole there, and then I'll clean all this up nice and spray paint it all, make it all really nice, get all the edges off, and I'm just going to cut this out with a grinder now. And then I'm not worried about all this will all be nicely painted, but this is all getting boxed in anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, because I've been a bit of a sausage and made a little little error, I've had to cut away a little bit more of the wood and move the heater just back 3 inches. It's not a major issue, it's just because I'm a bit of a sausage and I went on the old beeroonies last night. A little update. So I've cut the hole out, spray painted all of this, made it all nice. I did originally put the markings there, and I did them too far to the right. They needed to go further over because there's a chassis leg in here and a chassis leg there, or like a bit for the frame for the floor. So anyway, sprayed all this, moved everything over, so now we've got the nice big hole there, but don't worry, that'll all be sealed up with Tiger Seal all the way around, and then the base plate sits on top and the heater sits nicely in there. Then so you can see I've put a layer of Tiger Seal around there. Then this is going to go on the top with a couple of screws, or 4 screws, one in each corner. I hope this video is making sense. So now we've got that panel in there, which looks pretty good, I think. And then we've got all the holes now. That's all sealed up. So when we get underneath, which I might do tonight, I might not, go underneath and we can just seal all around the edge of it, make sure it's all nice. And then now I can put, or once this paint's dry, I can put the diesel heater down, tighten it up from the bottom, connect all the plumbing and everything up, and then gonna box it in, fuel tank on top, and we're done. But I think that's pretty good. Just for some perspective, this is it from underneath. So I've been around the edges there, put some some Tiger Seal around them. So there, that's the heater in. It's bolted in from underneath. The base plate's down, so that side's the intake, and then this side of it there, let me just, this side, there'll be, obviously it'll be boxed in here, and then there'll be an air duct that comes out, and then there's a vent that's going to go on the end there that then goes off up into the living space. So I'm really happy with that, to be honest. I think it looks really tidy. And then once it's all boxed off, you won't even see it, and then all the fuel pump and everything will be under the van. So let's put the intake and exhaust on, and then that's pretty much underneath done, apart from that fuel pipe. That fuel pipe, see if you can see, is going to run down, obviously off of the fuel tank that'll be here. It'll run down, and there's a nice gap down there. Right then, last little shot for tonight, I think. But we've got the exhaust in. Let's move this. So the exhaust box is there. Now I might get a little piece of pipe that goes from there and comes round, so that it points out the side of the van rather than being underneath. But then the exhaust is there, runs up, and then the inlet side is there, cable tied to there. I've got a bit trigger happy with the spray can, but that's okay. So that is a little bracket there. So that's how it is now. And then what I've got to do, I think that's pretty tidy. What I've got to do tomorrow, because I'm going in now because I'm fed up, I've got to put the fuel pipe in, which is just run it down. I've got to put the fuel pump, the fuel pipe, and the fuel tank. So I'm going to pack everything up, and then tomorrow we'll come out and do all that. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not going to leave it half done. So I've put the fuel pump in, just through a little 6mm bolt there. And the fuel pipe goes up there, goes up through the floor. I'll put a grommet on there tomorrow, and then that fuel pipe then goes up and up to the bottom of the heater. I had to move this little pipe here for the air intake, just so that I could put that bolt in, and then I've put that bracket there. And then what I want to do when I go to, I'll take it to work at some point, and I'll put a like a metal heat tray here, because these pipes get extremely hot. So that's what it looks like now. All I've got to do is put the grommet on there, heat tray on here, which I'll do in work, and then the electrical plug needs to come on here. So I'm happy with that now. I'm going to pack up and go in. I'll see you in the morning. It's actually 1:25. I went to a CrossFit class this morning with one of my mates, almost killed me, but that's a story for another day. So where we're up to, last night I finished the fuel pipe, not the fuel pipe, the fuel pump, and I put the exhaust and the inlet going onto the combustion side of the heater. So this morning I'm just sorting this pipe out, so it comes up from down there, the little hole comes up, and then it's going to go into the fuel tank. Now obviously I've got plenty of pipe there, and then we've got to wire it up. So that's today's job. The heater's in, everything's fine. There's loads of room there for the air to come out, to go in. There's going to be a nice pipe going that way, like I said before. I went to my brother's house because he's got that fuel tank. So I'm thinking that fuel tank can go under the seat somehow, but then to fill it I'd have to slide the seat forward and then fill it and then slide the seat back. But that's a 5 litre fuel tank, whereas the fuel tank that I've got that came with it is that one, which is a 10 litre. So I might put the 10 litre one in. I'm not too sure, I'll have a little think. Okay, so we've decided what we're doing, right? So with the seat out, you've got this bar which holds this relay in there, and then you've got this, where is it? This bar that holds this like power block. It's just a few wires going to it. There was screwed onto there, but if I take that off, screw it to there, put the relay back where it was, leave this out, don't need that. That gives us enough room to put the fuel tank there with the pipe in there that can just run over and down. And then the way that you fill it is you just pull up, slide the seat forward, fill it, slide the seat back, done. So I'm going to make that happen. I need to make a like a level there to be able to put that fuel tank on some sort of wooden thing. So I'm going to do that and I'll show you when it's done. A little bit ghetto, but I've been using scrap wood. So that piece, I made this little funky bracket looking thing. Start with scrap wood. That sits there like that. That piece, try and do this with one hand, sits on there just to protect the end of it. Then the tank sits like that, up against there, up against there. Get the idea? And then I'm going to put a piece of wood here, just a small, up to about halfway, just to stop it sliding that way. It can't come out the top because it hooks under there. And then to fill it, you just slide the seat forward, fill it, put that back on. So like that. So I've put a screw there and a screw there. If I ever want to take the fuel tank out, slide this piece of wood out, 2 screws, dush out of the way, and then fill it. Seat will go over the top. So that's pretty much it. This is all glued in. I've put 2 screws at the back there to hold the back of it. I've put some glue right across the bottom, you can't see. I've glued that little spacer onto there, onto that, I don't know if you can see that, so that that pointy bit of metal in there isn't going to go into the side of the tank. Now I'm just going to figure out where the fuel pipe's going to go. It's going to go straight into the top on a little connector, so I just need to run the fuel pipe down and maybe around this side, underneath and down. Just tuck it out of the way. I'll put a couple of clips there. Nice, easy. So this is where we're up to. I've got this rubber pipe, slid it over the plastic pipe, if you can see. It goes over the pipe all the way down into there. Then I've slid this metal tube, drilled a hole, stick that in there, and then I'm going to tiger seal that onto there, and then clip that pipe to there, and then that's our main fuel feed for that. So let me clip that on there. Last little view before I do all the wiring and stuff. So there's a little clip here. That pipe there is all nice. It's all protected, so it doesn't matter if it touches anything because the plastic pipe's inside that rubber hose. And then I need to put a grommet down there, but I'll do that when I put it on the ramp in work, when I make a little heat tray. And then I've tiger sealed all that. Looks a little bit like cake mix, but it's all right. It goes off really solid and it's like perfect. That won't come off there. And then put the cap on there, and then I'll show you this little bit. Obviously that's in there, so it's not going to move. That tank's solid in there, and there's enough clearance there for the seat to go on the top. We should have some heat for the winter. It will be ideal. So just to give you some perspective, how can I show this? You've got that much room, and I've tried it all ways, forwards, backwards and everything, and it doesn't catch it all. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. And then what you do to fill it, so there's the seat, ignore the rip, slide the seat forward, and then there you just undo the tank, fill it in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a little paint mark on here where I have my seat, so I know just to put the seat back to there. I don't know how well the light is there, but we'll use it. So I've done all of the like mechanical side of it, so now I'm just down to the wiring, and I've turned the van around again so I'm not working next to the road. It's just started pouring down, so everything I can do now I should be able to do from inside the car, inside the van. So this is the little wiring loom, just with a plug, and that's the connector that I need to run down. I'll just de-pin that, chuck it through the floor and connect it up. So that's all I've got to do underneath is that and that grommet. And then this is all looking a bit dodgy because I've took it out of my other van, or my old van. And then that's the control unit, but it's blue, which does my head in. And just for a little bit of reference, I don't know if you can see them properly, but I use these heat shrink connectors. I've used them for years across all sorts of different stuff. Now these ones have an adhesive lining in the middle, so you crimp them on just with some sort of normal style crimps, and then you heat it up, and the adhesive lining does two things. Firstly, it insulates the cable, and then secondly it also acts as like a glue, so it keeps the cable nice and strong. This yellow wire goes off to this plug. That's going to go through the hole and down to the fuel pump. These three wires go to the control unit, and then these two wires are just power and ground, go over to the battery. And then obviously at the other side, this red wire here, the main power feed, will go through a fuse. I'm going to crack on with this, get it all wired in. It hasn't stopped raining, so I'm just like in a bit of a spot down here, just working away, just down next to the heater. The heater's sitting there nicely. So then this plug goes off to the fuel pump down the back. We'll do that after. This wire, I've left enough slack on it to be able to move it around wherever I want for the heater control. This wire is just tucked underneath there, that's all soft, there's insulation underneath there, and this is all getting trimmed up anyway. And it goes through a little hole there in the corner of this, and then it's coming across, and then it goes over to the batteries, which are in there. Don't know if you can see them. So I'm going to wire it up to the battery now. I'm going to add the main power and ground on and wire it up to the batteries. It's showing an error at the minute for the fuel pump because it's not plugged in. I've got no fuel in the fuel tank, so is there any point in plugging it in now, the fuel pump? Probably not, unless I'm prepared to go and get some fuel from somewhere just to make sure everything works properly. I don't know what the next clip's going to be, we'll see. So it's been a week since I last filmed. I thought, oh, I'll come out the next day and just finish the rest of the van off, finish the rest of the heater, but it didn't happen. So it's been a whole week. It's now Sunday afternoon. I've just dropped the kids back, and I've got to do two things. I've got to run the wire down to the fuel pump, and I've got to build the box to hold the air vent, and that's it. So let's get that done, get it out of the way fast, and then let's try this heater and make sure everything is a-okay. See if I can do this through the camera. So this is the wire that's going to go down to the fuel pump. Now what I've got to do is de-pin these, because obviously that plug's too big to fit through the size hole that I've drilled. So what I'll do is just de-pin it. There's pin 1 and pin 2, and on pin 1 we're just going to put a little black mark with a marker pen, and then obviously pin 2 we'll just leave it. So let's see if we can get these out. Shove that one in there. Ah, you mother. A lot of people would just cut these off and rejoin them back on. Oh, I've just bent my pin. Let's try different pins. Let's try these pins, these are stronger. Maybe I should buy the proper tool for this. Oh, right, so, and now we've got to flick that little cap off of there to allow the wire to come out. It's all very technical stuff. Right, so that's pin 1. Okay, and what we do, just colour in the end of that one, pin 1. Bigger pins are definitely the better option. Don't know if you saw any of that, but you just shove them in there and give it a yank. There we go, like that, right? Very professional. And then now we can shove those bits through the carpet, through the floor, and then connect them back up and plug it in. How much of this you can actually see, I don't know. There's the wire. So pin 1 is that one. Put it back in there. Pin 2 is that one. Put it back in there. Pull that little clip on the top. Pull the wire through. Plug it up. Just like that. And then what we'll do is I'll cable tie the wire like that to the fuel pipe. 3 cable ties. 1, 2. One, 3. Change of plan. I'm not putting a grommet there, it's too tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a load of tiger seal around here. That's the last job. Let's put some fuel in and see if it runs. Don't know how best to film this, but let's go with jamming you under there. I've got 4.5 litres of fuel, and then we chuck it in and hope it doesn't spill everywhere. Didn't spill a drop. The good thing with this cap is it's got a valve in it, so fumes won't come out because it's got a little valve, so I won't get any diesel fumes, in case anybody thinks. It'll let air in, but it won't let air out. Put the cap on. Alright then, moment of truth, ladies and gents. The moment we've all been waiting for. Let's set this up here. I know the camera works a bit dodgy. Right, so there's the panel. Let's plug it in. Obviously all this will get tidied up. Plug it in. Right, so we've got this screen. No error messages. Press and hold that. And then turn this up. Oh no. Yeah, that way. Look at that, H6. So that means full. Fans on. Now it's not going to start first time because it'll have to prime the pump. But we'll see what happens now. So that little piece of clear pipe, pump's just kicked in. So now, can you see it's sucking the fuel through? There's smoke coming out. If you can see it. That's now filled with fuel. Yeah, It's definitely getting warm. Oh, we've got some warmth. Oh, what we can do, I think we can go settings. How do I do this? There. There's a way, bear with me. There. So that setting is the temperature of the combustion chamber in there. It's got a temperature sensor, and look, it's going up 160, 162. Honestly, 5 kilowatt heater, this thing puts out some serious heat, which in here it's quite a big space. You've got the bed all the way in the back and all this space, the shower and everything, so got a big area to fill. Oh, well happy, well happy with that. And this thing's been under the stairs for about probably 8 months, and I like ripped out the van, the old van, before I scrapped it, and I didn't know if it was going to work. I just chucked it in here and working perfectly. Oh, it's so nice to have heat, because it's getting cold now, especially this week. It's been really cold. It always seems to be in this little area. That is working absolutely perfectly. We're now at 198 degrees. 198 degrees on the combustion chamber, which, if I remember rightly, when it was in the other van, it would run about 190 to about 210 ish. It would just depend on the intake temperature and stuff like that, but around 200 I'm more than happy with that. That's as hot as it'll get. That's on maximum power. And like I say, that's just been sat in front of it, and we're at 23 degrees, doors wide open. This tiger seal here, so this fuel pipe is all tiger sealed up. That's not going anywhere, so there's no danger of anything leaking from the bottom because it sucks it from the top. So that's good. That's working perfectly. So now I've got my little tape measure. I'm going to measure up this, and I'll tell you what we'll do. This is what it's like now. You ready? And there we are. So we've got the box in. Ah, you like that little bit of camera work then, didn't you? So I've got the box in. We've got the vent there that spins, joined up to the heater. This is just a nice box. Obviously I need to paint it. I've left a little bit of a gap there for the handbrake. The heater controller is here, so you can see it when you're up in the bed. You can just look down and go, oh, I'm toasty. And then all that just sits in. Absolutely beautiful. I think that's a really nice tidy job. And then when you're up in the bed at the very back, you can use the remote control. I'll just hook it on a little magnet at the back. You can switch it on and off from the back of the bed. So pretty good, pretty happy with that. All works perfectly, so it'll be nice and toasty warm. So I've got a couple of little loose ends. I just need to paint this box. I need to paint this wall all at the side. I need to finish this trim, a little bit of trim on the other side over there. But essentially it is pretty much there now for the heater, so we should be all set for winter. I know it's a bit of a different video compared to normal, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment and a thumbs up and all that sort of stuff. Helps the channel to grow, and I'll leave you to it. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.